Sometimes a little change is good, no? It gives you the opportunity to move ahead in life, to grow and discover, to reach new bolder milestones, while still holding true to everything you stand for. IDBI Federal has now changed to AGS Federal. It's the same old company but with a bold new outlook.
तो कितने सालों के बाद जन्मदिन पे मेरे हाथ का बनाया खाना खा रहे हैं।
जस्ट माई रूट्स, घर का बना खाना पहुंचाए आपके शहर तक।
Hello and welcome to this very special edition of Backstage with Boria with Prannoy. Prannoy is someone I've always wanted to interview for his many giant killing exploits for India and his own self. Followed his career for a long, long time. One of my favorites, but what better occasion? What better occasion? Because now the badminton revolution in the country is well and truly underway. And this man was one of the chief architects for that. If we go back to that Thomas Cup win, first in Indian badminton history, that quarterfinal against Malaysia, that semi-final against Denmark, Prannoy was just stellar. So may I just ask that first? Prannoy, you've won many an important match, for India in the past and for yourself. But this Thomas Cup win, if I go back to that, that week in the history of badminton, how do you look at it now that you've been able to take a distance from it?
I think it's been one of a journey where you never expect some things to happen, but it just happens. And I think Thomas Cup for all of us was something like that, where we had a big belief in the team saying that we can do something with this team, but I think we never thought that we would end up with the gold medal. So I think that journey was really a memorable one, I would say, because a lot of things fell in place. And it needed a lot of contribution from each and everyone, from the team, from the support staff. And yes, sometimes a lot of things need to come in place so that you win something big. And it just happened. And I'm really happy that I could be a part of it. And I could get those couple of crucial wins for our country so that we could eventually go out there and get that trophy back home.
1-7 in that quarterfinal, in that first game. If we don't win that, no medal. Forget gold, no medal.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
So I think going into the Malaysian match, I think it was really stressful as such, and because I knew that if I don't win this, then we are going back without a medal, and that was constantly running in my mind. And when I started off playing, I was on the bad side, and I knew that the first game might be tough because I'm playing the bad side, but I was mentally prepared that I need to get this somehow and need to win this somehow. And yes, first game 7-1 down, and I realized that okay, this is getting tough because I'm from the bad side. But when I started to score few points, 2-3 points, and then when the nerves were a little bit more settled, I realized that this is done. I was in the zone, I was playing well, I was moving well, and by the time it became 10-all, then I knew that this is very much under control. And once the first game was in my pocket, then I knew that I'm going into a much better side into the second game, and this I need to be much more focused, and because it looks like a easy target probably from the second half, but you'll have to be extremely focused because there's a lot of things running around, there's a lot of emotions running behind, there's a lot of activities happening in the dugout, people are screaming, people are shouting, people are dancing, but it is really important that you you focus right, because these are big matches, and I think that focus was really on target, especially against Malaysia.
Okay, that sort of tells me the Malaysia game. But if I just fast forward a little bit and take you to Denmark, medical timeout, injury. I mean, it is never easy for any sports person to battle injury in the middle of a contest and then go on and win a magnitude. I mean, tell me what was going on in your mind. You were injured. You took a medical timeout, and then to beat Denmark. I mean, come on. Talk to me about that one.
Yes, I mean, it was a very similar situation like Malaysia when it came again to the decider, and I had to go against a much better ranked player out there, against Gemke, who had a better record against me till then. So it was obviously a pressure match again, but then there was a lot of calculation out there where I went again with the bad side, choosing the bad side in the first half, and yes, that slip kind of made it a little bit worse. The things mentally, I would say, because I was thinking a lot of things to do, but then suddenly you have a break, and I felt, but somehow that break kind of gave me a lot of other insights into the game, and which I was not able to look through in the first 11 points. And post that injury happened, I thought, let me just play a little bit more slowly, and that worked. I mean, that kind of worked brilliantly, where he was losing out on patience, and that's where my game kind of started to keep getting better from the second game. And I just felt that I was very steady post the second game, and the slow game started to work against him. And so sometimes that's what I said, all the things need to come in place for that victory to happen. And I feel that yes, that injury kind of gave me that different angle to think about the same situation, and I could find a different answer for that same situation. So I'm glad that it happened, and post second game, I was still very confident that I can pull this off, because I found my length. I was able to defend well that particular day. So I was confident, and I think same like Malaysia, I think I was really focused on that particular match, because a lot of things were happening outside. And you know that entire country is watching you, but you had to wrap it up, and it's very important that you wrap it up, because you can play well, you can get to 20, but you have to get to 21. And I think I was really focused to do that, and yeah.
I was actually with Gopi on that particular day. I mean, and he was repeatedly telling me about you and the big matches, and about your mental strength, and we were trying to analyze your game together, and I was asking him that what is it about you that you sort of push the bar a few notches higher come the bigger matches. Can I ask you the same question? I mean, how is it that you always take out the best players? You always push the bar up a few notches. What happens?
I think the whole credit goes to Gopi sir itself. I think the way he has nurtured me, the way he has nurtured the Indian badminton in the last 1 decade, I think it's been incredible. And I think to the success story of Thomas Cup also, where I would say this is the effort which he put the last 1 decade, and the effort which Gopi sir put in the last 1 decade. It's the result of that effort which came in as the Thomas Cup gold. And especially coming into big matches, I think it's something where he has helped me a lot in the previous years also, where whenever he had traveled with us, and whenever I had played big matches in my past also, there was a lot of intent which he wanted me to show on the court. And because he said that's the first and major thing which you need to show, where you are showing the opponent that you are here to win. And that makes a huge difference. Maybe game wise you might not be really behind, but I think the intent makes it a big difference in the game. And I think over the period of years, I've started probably in the initial years I played against Linda and Lee Chong Wei, and I couldn't win against them in the first couple of meetings. because the intent was not right, and you are always trying to chase the players. You are just trying to be over there, but you are never trying to win. So I think post 2015 is where I thought that we need to change the intent. I need to change the intent whenever it comes to a big match, because that's where things are going to be tough. And yes, I think matches against Linda and Lee Chongwei, all these matches helped me over the years to build that mental courage to go out there and perform really well in big matches. And but yeah, I really need to be consistent whenever it comes to say normal matches also, not just big events, not just big matches, but I just need to be even more consistent when it comes to the first round, second rounds, where I need to little bit more step up with my attitude and with my mental courage. Yeah.
Is it true that Gopi sort of spoke to you about saying that if you have to have a long career of success, you will have injuries and 1 or 2 years will go. You have to take that in your stride because that's when you will leave a legacy behind. Can you talk to me about that a little bit?
Yes, I remember in I think 2012, 2014, that was a time where we just finished juniors and we were getting into the seniors, and things were really bleak. Things were really tough because you go to a tournament, you lose first round, you come back, you train again, you go to the first round and you lose. And that was there. So that was happening for a couple of years from 2011 until 2012 end. And I remember having a couple of injuries at that point of time. And he told me this, saying that if you want to really prove, you'll have to push in the training. And when you push in the training, injuries are going to happen. Unless and until you push, the results are not going to come. If you're going to not hit the bar every single time, you're going to be in a very mediocre level. You might not get injured, but your performances also will be very mediocre. So if you want to really hit those bars, then you'll have to go extra in the training. And you might get injured also, but you'll have to come back, you'll have to sort that out. And this is a journey where you realize how you will sort that out. And I think I'm really glad that I had a lot of injuries in my initial career, say start of my career, where I think that gave a lot of learnings as such. And now it's kind of really helping me. Now I know my body really well, I know how to cope up with it mentally. Before it was really tough to cope up. But I guess now, over the last 3-4 years, I think I have been much more matured handling the injury times, really looking into things which I generally don't get time to work on. So all those things I have been able to do that. And for him to come and tell this kind of a thing at that point of time, felt really bad at that time, because you feel that, oh, I have to leave 2-3 years for the just in injuries. But then post for 5-6 years, you realize that, see, this is the truth. And if you want to push, you'll get injured. And but unless and until you push, you're not going to be the best in the world. You just have to be a little bit more planned while you push. Then you can probably try saving your body a little bit more.
No, in a print interview to me, you had said that one of your dreams was India should be feared. The others should also sort of look at the Indian team and say, "Hey, this is the Indian team. I mean, this has an aura." What will the Thomas Cup do, say, for example, for the Commonwealth Games, say, for example, for the Asian Games, say, for example, for the Olympic Games in Paris 2 years down the line? The Birmingham Games are around the corner. What will that mean? What does this Thomas Cup win mean for these multidisciplinary events, the CWG, the Asian Games, the Olympic Games? Your thoughts, because you're a senior pro now.
I think it gives a huge boost. I mean, any wins gives you a huge boost, especially I would say each and every wins, especially say Neeraj Chopra's gold medal. I mean, that gave a huge, what do you say, huge boost to not just say javelin, but then for the entire country, where the entire ecosystem was really happy with the way things went. And you are all of a sudden you have an energy in the training grounds, because you feel that, okay, we got something which is huge. And I think that is very important when it comes to sport, because consistently you need those big results coming in from any of the sport, not just badminton, but any of the sport. And that will give that entire push to the ecosystem, where everybody would want to work more the support staff want to be a part of that work, and all those things will even get better and better. So it's really important that we get these wins in a very consistent manner. And this win obviously will give huge boost to the badminton as such, because this is for the next generation to come in, where, as I said, they should believe that they can come out and win something big like this. And before, we never had this belief, where whenever we used to go to Thomas Cup, we used to think, oh, this looks a very tough competition, because there's a very, very strong teams out there. And from the quarterfinal lineup, you can see all the top 8 in the world are super strong teams. So you needed that extra push out there to, especially for the younger generation, to believe that, see, anything is possible. When you are doing a team event, especially, it just how you create that atmosphere for that entire event to be happened. And then if that atmosphere is created, then anything can happen. So this is what happened in Thomas Cup also, where I felt the entire 10-member squad created that atmosphere, saying that, see, this is something which we want to do collectively. This is not for any individual glory as such, but this is one thing which we need to give it back to the country. This is something which we need to collectively do it for the country, because this is not just for us. This is for the next generation to come in, to just believe that, see, something like of this sort can happen. And to beat Indonesia 3-0 in the finals, you don't imagine all these things happening live, right? So when once it has happened, then you believe that, see, this can happen, right? This can happen. We can beat Indonesia 3-0. So I think that is the biggest thing I would say, where I was really happy to be a part of this team, where we could do something like this, so that the next generation can really look forward into. Yeah.
Last two questions. One, and this is very important for me. I mean, one, when I see the history of Indian badminton, 1980s Prakash, gap, 2000s Gopi, All England, gap. Now when I see a Shrikant, when I see a Laksh, when I see a Prannoy, when I see the Satvik and Chirag, when I see a Priyanshu coming up, when I see the whole supply system, I see a revolution happening. When I go to your academy in Hyderabad, and time and again we've been there together, I see a crop which is there, right there up in the world with anybody. Do you also see that? Is that the real legacy, that the revolution is underway?
Yes, I think definitely, because I think, as I said, this is a collective effort from a lot of stakeholders out there, where I think the last 1 decade, a lot of things have been changed in the Indian sport. I think a lot of credit goes to the government. I think they have been continuously pushing sport to the next level, and been constant support coming in from the government side, ministry side, and for us in badminton, I would say Badminton of India also has been really improving in the last 1 decade, where they have been constantly supporting a lot of players. The number of players supported has been gone up really high, where it used to be very less in the past, but now it is, the numbers has gone really up. So all those kind of help, and especially teams like Go Sports Foundation coming in, OGQ coming into the picture, that has given a huge boost to the entire ecosystem of Indian sport, where every kid now can dream that they can do something for the country. So, and especially for badminton, the work done by Gopi sir, as I said, the depth which we needed to win something like a Thomas Cup, where we needed 3 good singles, we needed 2 strong doubles. It takes ages to prepare. It's not like you prepare, say, 6 months back and then you have a result. So it takes almost good 6 to 7 years to prepare that bench strength and to create that bench strength. So I think this is a journey where everybody has pitched in, and I hope that things get better from here for us, because a lot of juniors are coming in, and I hope a lot of support gets to them, and they can also perform really well.
In your own career, this is success at the highest level. You've been able to do it over a period of time. You've beaten the best players. So what about you? What does this do to Prannoy, the player? Yes, part of India, But what about you, the individual?
Yes, I think definitely I'm really looking forward for the next couple of years. I'm looking in a much better shape in the
Is
last
Asian
6
Games the target? Is Paris the target? I mean, that was the question.
I don't keep targets,
Okay.
sir. I mean, it's been one thing which I have been trying to avoid. I really love keeping the next day's practice session. I think it's been a great 6-7 months for me where I've started performing better, but there's a lot of room for me for improvement, and I really want to play at that highest level of badminton where I feel I have the game, I have the potential to beat anybody out there on a particular day. But it's just I need to be really consistent on certain factors, which mentally also, which I need to work a lot more. But I'm really excited to work for the next 2 years because I feel there's a lot of things which is going to come. Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. I mean, next 2 years so symbolic with the Asian Games, with the Olympic Games. Who knows? I mean, Paris, I'll cover you with the medal and another T-shirt like this saying Paris Olympics winner. If that happens, nothing like it, and we'll go up to the top of the Eiffel Tower and celebrate together.
Yeah,
But
thank
Prannoy,
you.
you've always been somebody I've really sort of enjoyed watching and obviously celebrating now with you and going forward for many more tournaments. Give a lot back to Indian badminton. For
Thank you.
you are great for the sport.